Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live presentation with Zero Density with EMCI here at Inov Studios in Granbury, just outside of Montreal, actually, snowing outside. So we're excited to be here. We have a great lineup of presentations here. I'm Brad Rumler, the Vice President of Sales and for US and Canada.
And I'm Andrew Cowth. I'm a Technical Account Manager for US and Canada.
Great.
Yeah.
And then we have a video.
After our little intro.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. So we have a short presentation. We're going to give you an outline. So again, we're with Zero Density. So I'm Brad Rumler, Vice President of Sales for US Canada. Next slide, please. So what we're going to show you today, this is going to be a working workshop, basically. We're going to start here in the LED stage as a quick introduction to the team. Then we're going to talk about workflow, going over to Studio B, which is our virtual studio, or their virtual studio. Then we're going to move to Studio A, which is another virtual studio, to talk about more on the design aspects, working with this technology and workflows, and then also to operations, obviously going to the control room and showing you our reality hub and how this works in a real-world environment. Many of you have seen Zero Density, but we're going to show you the nuts and bolts, how everything's put together here with these guys. So, and then lastly, we'll end up with Q&A. In Studio A. Make sure you write down all your questions in the chat window. We'll make sure to get to as many questions as we can at the end of this session. Why does Zero Density exist? To empower our storytellers with the innovative tools to turn their ideas into reality. So we provide the technology. We love to see how our customers and partners create amazing ways of telling stories that were simply not possible before. Some of these clients are global clients all around the world, multiple different segments. So obviously here in the US, we've got many broadcast clients, and in Canada as well. You'll see on the screen here, corporate, government, education, lots of different segments. So this technology is used in all sort of segments. So if you can watch this presentation and see how this might apply to you, it's definitely applicable to all segments. This is the Zero Density graphics ecosystem. So many of our people we know run into us and they say, well, they know us for our virtual production aspect basically, but we are now just last week actually launched a new product called Lino. Very excited about. This is going to be a game changer really in the overlay motion graphics platform. So we cover all aspects. As I say, if you have your existing technology, be it camera tracking, hardware, and so on, then we can work with those. If you want to have one throat to choke, as we say, we can provide a full turnkey system. So going from Traxxas to camera tracking platform in green there to Reality Hub, which we'll talk about, Evo 2, which is our hardware platform as well. We can provide everything that you need to be up and running for a turnkey system. Today we're focusing on two core products as we go through this. Reality 5, which is our main platform, working obviously with Unreal Engine 5. So this enables our customers to tell stories in ways that were not possible before. So very realistic, obviously retaining things like real shadows, things like that. All of these bullet points here, we're going to cover them in detail today. I won't necessarily go through them here, but we're going to tell you all about the ROI and the cost savings here as well. We'll also be touching on highlighting Reality Hub. This is the easiest and most efficient way to tell better stories. Everything's controlled in one centralized platform, HTML5 interface, data integration, newsroom integration, and so on. You can bring everything in here controlled through one interface. Yeah. So with that, I'll hand it over to Andrew.
Sure. I think that was a nice quick summary. So the next thing we're going to show you is about a 90-second clip of EMCI, so you can see what they do, who they are. I will say it is in French, so if you don't understand it, just enjoy the visuals. So yeah, feel free to enjoy.
Let's Stitch, grandissons ensemble.
Bienvenue dans la table avec Annabelle.
La solution, elle sera pas dehors. Il faut que tu rencontres Jésus dans ton cœur.
La bonne nouvelle, c'est que Jésus multipliera pour toi.
Une vraie qualité, c'est un vrai don de Dieu de pouvoir être maître de nos émotions.
EMCI TV, c'est une chaîne qui offre des productions originales quotidiennes.
Cette émission a été conçue pour vous permettre de devenir de véritables disciples de Jésus-Christ. EMCI TV, c'est des enseignements pour une maturité spirituelle.
C'est des témoignages et des partages inspirants.
Là, c'est des petites choses, hein.
C'est petites choses, c'est pas grand-chose, mais ça fait toute la différence.
Ouais. C'est des entrevues et des parcours de vie. Depuis que j'ai donné ma vie à Jésus, est-ce que j'ai changé?
Le Seigneur est en train de nous montrer quelque chose. EMCI TV, c'est des prières inspirées.
Et de l'adoration.
Et c'est comme ça que fonctionne la foi. EMCI TV, c'est des sujets d'actualité à la lumière de l'Évangile.
EMCI TV, c'est des émissions de variété et des événements en direct.
C'est des films et séries à succès.
Est-ce que tu veux être guéri?
EMCI TV, c'est du contenu animé.
C'est des orateurs et conférenciers émérites. EMCI, c'est le nouveau projet Ma Bible.
La foi, ce n'est pas juste de croire que Dieu existe.
EMCI TV, c'est des loyaux partenaires.
EMCI TV est une chaîne qui transmet le message d'amour et d'espoir de la foi chrétienne à travers une programmation originale et variée.
Sur EMCI TV, YouTube, Canal+, StarTimes, Eutelsat et sur la TNT publique du Congo.
Okay, well, great. Hi, Steve and Ralph. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thanks.
Excellent. So why don't you start with telling us a little bit about your roles, what you do here, and also a little bit more about history of the company as well.
Sure. Well, my name is Steve Razier. I'm the Strategic Business Development Director here at EMCI TV. So my role is really to create new market, increase the revenue, and optimizing all the different divisions of the media group.
Yeah, and I'm Raphaël Turla, and I am Deputy Director of the TV department. So basically, I am assisting the TV direction for every technical aspect and team management, more or less.
So the company has 20 years now. We started in France in a basement. We had this great website called enseignement.com, which generate and we're creating content on the web. And with the years, we had this vision of having a media TV channel, mainly for Christian content. In the French nation. And in 2017, we launched the TV channel. And in 2020, we were able to generate the funds to create this studio here that we call Innov. It's our business aspect where we can rent the studio and welcome new clients also.
Gotcha.
I mean, you guys really have some impressive stats. I mean, some of the volume you're able, the content you're able to produce, but also the amount of the size of the audience. I think YouTube channel, OTT, last I saw, was like over 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, YouTube channel is over 2 million subscribers. Big presence as well in a social network. So we are in OTT and even also satellite. OTT around the world, satellite also quite big presence also in Africa. So we really have a TV channel and doing production at the same time.
Yeah. We're reaching almost 75 million households around the world in the French nation, mainly. So we're pretty proud of what
impressive.
We're able to do.
That's why the video was in French.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had a question, or?
Yeah. So how did you guys get started using VP technology?
It happened in 2020 because before this building was available for us in 2022. EMCI was working in a really old house in a small town 20 minutes away from here in the middle of Quebec. And at this time, they had one basement, which was a studio. And the main goal of EMCI was always to produce more content and with respect also to the audience, so with quality and excellence. And the fact that we had a small studio, we were kind of blocked. And this building was not ready yet. So at this time, we wanted to go to virtual because it was a good way to expand our production capacity and quality as well. So at the time, in 2020, with zero density technology, we were in a basement, in kind of Canadian basement, and it was a super small studio, but we could fake the fact that we had a super big space because actually everything was done in a basement at this time. Yeah.
come a long way. I mean, you walk around this place, it looks amazing. It's really a fantastic place that you've set up here. And just to go back to the beginnings of where you guys started and how it's grown is great.
Yeah, and when we built this facility, at first we had to think about budget as well, because now we do 5 or 6 daily shows, different daily shows, which means that we maybe need 5 to 6 different studios, but we couldn't have the budget for that, to create 6 physical studios.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go full virtual because with our experience we had in the basement, we knew it would be, of course, possible to do it in a proper studio. So we just built 2 studios instead of 5 or 6, and we went full virtual in order to optimize prices.
Okay. And so you went full virtual. Why zero density? Why at the time?
At the time, why zero density? Mostly because of Unreal. Because it's more easy, I would say, to find people that know how to design in Unreal than other graphics engine, and it's quite realistic. And on top of that, we were quite impressed with what we've seen regarding the keying. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, we wanted to respect our audience. So the keying needed to be really, really accurate. And from the different tests and demo we did back in 2020, we decided to go with zero density at the time.
Okay. Great. Mostly wanted to know, how are you guys, so for anybody who's not aware, we're in a pretty big auditorium on a stage. How are you guys using this right now, and what are your plans for it in the future?
Yeah, actually, it's not a theater. It's really a studio, a TV studio, we like to call it, because we have already 7 cameras rigged for any events. We have that big LED wall that help us also if you want to create 3D environment. We usually do it for live events such as concert, award shows. We're looking at doing TV shows with an audience on stage. So that's the different things we can do. And since it's a 1,000 seated studio, it helps us creating a lot of big events. So even some production now in Montreal, they're looking forward to do their production here because it's a turnkey. They have all the service. I like the one idea, and we create. What's the motto that you mentioned in the...
Oh, one throat to choke, was it?
No, you said you have one idea and we deliver the dream, whatever the idea there. But yeah, that's so people come with an idea and we have all the infrastructure, the team, and the quality to create those ideas.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Turnkey services, I think that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, turnkey solution, yeah.
So we could do everything LED, XR, VR, everything all together in the same platform. So.
Yeah. Yes. So that's one of our biggest studio. We have 2 more that we will show you. I don't know if you guys ready.
Let's do it.
Do the tour.
Check out. Let's do a quick tour.
All right. So as we mentioned, this is like one of our biggest studio. It's 1,000 seated studio. We have a huge balcony with 270 seats. And the seats on the main floor, they're removable, so we can create all kinds of sets depending of the project. We're all equipped with the LED wall to do those 3D environment as well. We didn't start it yet in that studio, but that's coming.
Yeah, we are ready to go. Actually, we have already this infrastructure because we are already equipped with the technology, with zero density. And when we built this infrastructure, we wanted to have the same also tracking system everywhere. So basically, we are ready to go virtual or AR with video wall.
Excellent.
AR, XR.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, AR, XR, definitely, yeah.
So now we're stepping in the Studio B, which is a full green screen environment with all preset lighting. So all our cameras are robotic. I don't know, Raphael, if you want to detail us a bit of...
So yeah, basically, as I mentioned before, we decided to go full virtual. So no curtain, no nothing, is fully green. And the fact it's fully green, so we had to build infrastructure to be able to produce a big amount of content that we will probably talk a bit later. But what we have to keep in mind is all our cameras are robotic and they work with presets. So it helps us, of course, to spare cost regarding human resources. but also it helps to have a more controlled environment when we do our recording. And in terms of presets, yes, we have presets for camera, but we also have presets for lighting. So all the lights you see in here are fixed. We never move them. They stay on position in order to save time. Save time when we move from one studio to another. And the thing is, it was thought at the beginning, so all the lights are in well position, so it can work in all of our virtual studio environment. We have no guy adjusting the light every morning. It would be a nightmare. It will be too much time consuming, and we didn't want to go in this direction.
I did notice that you guys are not using broadcast cameras. Are those the red Komodos?
Yes, indeed. We are using red Komodos because it was something we wanted to test. Actually, with camera, it can be sometimes with a camera, with professional environment, it can be quite expensive. And we wanted to avoid as much as we could post-production process.
Gotcha.
So if we want to avoid post-production process, basically we wanted to use red Komodo because they allow it to have a perfect color grading. Maybe we could try it right now. So you see here we are in a position. We use Video Maker camera, as you've seen, all robotic and presets. And even with I would say, lower-end camera quality, we can have a nice virtual studio. So we can send the virtual studio right now. So the guys in control room, up. And here you are. So what you see here is basically our studio. Same keying, presets, camera movement are presets. The camera is actually, as I said, a red Komodo Video Maker camera, which means that we can do the keying with a Video Maker camera. And it works perfectly fine because we don't adjust the color grading. Preset for camera position, preset for light, preset for color grading in the camera. This is how we can spare time and save cost, basically.
It's amazing. We're talking about ROI. We were earlier, like the cost savings. You mentioned post-production. So I understand how much is live, how much is post-production of the content?
We'll do maybe 10% of our production that is live,
yep.
And the 90% production. You know, he also, when Raphael talking about saving cost and time, for us, that's what really stands out of our business model. It's really about doing so much with high quality, but with low cost production. So we're able to shoot 25 shows in a week with only 3 people in the country.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Wow.
So
8 shows a day, up to 8 shows a day?
Yeah, up to 8 shows. There's one show
we achieved that recently.
Episodes, half-hour episodes a day.
It's 30 minutes, and we can do 8 episodes a day.
So 4 hours of actual production content. And when Steve mentioned we do 10% live, it means that the 19% that's left, it's live to tape. So it's still in the live condition. So no post-production. This show is in live, so of course. But when we do our show, it's live to tape. So in one day, we can record from Monday, Tuesday, up to the next Wednesday. So basically, 1/3 of a month content in one day.
We estimate maybe 50% less of the cost just in the way we do production. The same show in another studio will be double the cost just because of how we're using our technology and the engine.
Wow. I mean, I noticed walking around the facility here that there's no edit suites. You normally walk around, here's our edit bays, there's no post-production suites, there's no editors, there's no equipment, there's no people doing it. It's all done. So even though 90% of it is, that's amazing. I think 90% of it is produced as if it was live, but you basically have it once and done. Everything's shot in camera. There's no post-production. That's a huge cost savings for sure.
Yeah, because the quality is good enough. Because if you had some kind of doubt regarding quality, you couldn't go no post-production. But the quality is perfect for us, and we can basically go without post-production.
It's a huge time saver too.
Yeah, to change set, we can even move to another set, and you'll see we're just gonna move two away.
It's almost like a
and we'll be in a different environment. We will just have to select the right lighting.
Yeah.
And we'll be in another set. So I don't know if you want to show the
basically,
set.
What I can say is, what I would like to show is we can change the set super easily. So right now you see we're on green screen because the engine is loading. But when I was mentioning light presets, I will show you how we work. Normally here, if you go, we have a light console, of course. But the way we work is actually we have presets. It's done once every 6 months to be sure it's clear. And then I just press the new virtual environment. The light have changed. It's a little bit more yellow, but you will see in this specific environment, the environment is yellow, and then everything is adapted, keying and everything. So now the scene is probably still loading, but you will be able to see that in just one click to start the engine and one click to change the light, we are able to go with production on virtual environment.
Okay, that was pretty. That's extremely quick. What's the longest? Like, what takes the longest when you're setting up for production?
What takes the longest is actually to move the furniture because our crew is also moving the furniture, and it can be done between 20 to 30 minutes. Because of course, some things must be real because you cannot sit just by your muscle. You need to ensure at one point. And so the crew is actually moving the furniture, and also to be sure we have the furniture on the right place. With ZD, we have some specific virtual markers, so we can avoid having markers right in the floor.
Of the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're seeing here, sorry, I'm doing a bit of a promo. It's our I can't see it anymore. But it was our show for a woman podcast. You see, and this is an aspect I wanted to mention as well. As we are not doing real studio, we have basically no limits of. The limit is your imagination. And we wanted to go something a little bit more Mediterranean, a little bit more, elegant, round, curvy, and we can do it, basically. So this is the thing we wanted to mention, because you have almost no limits on what you want to create. Basically this is it.
And now, if we go back to our green screen, we'll just do 2 steps back, and we'll be in another set. So we'll move in this area here, and that's our latest show that we produce. It's called Teach. It's a daily show, a 30-minute, and right there you will see we now in the new set. So there's no virtual board. There's no board behind you, Andrew. It's a virtual board. There's no plant behind me. That's virtual. The lighting is all set for that to create a more how can I say, in-house, comfortable set. So now we have the teacher that sits every day and teaches show. And that's one of our most popular show right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And also one thing I wanted to mention, which is great. I mean, you see, we moved from a broadcast studio to something strange and major trend futuristic to something which is really pastel-like. It's also something which is important because we have a lot of ideas, and sometimes you are inspired by what you see in social network and something. You see, this studio is actually more like pastel, vintage, and we could create it. And this is also more easy to then take moment of this specific show, short extract, like we said, like important moment of this teaching, and we can put it in vertical, in TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. So it's easy to have something a little bit more modern and adaptive. And for example, we were working on this studio, and you see the backlight right now is green. If tomorrow we want it in blue, we can design it as well. So we are fully flexible.
So when you come in the morning, you're going to do a production. I mean, people think of green screen as basically coming in and having to tweak the chroma key and a few times. You come in, and then what's the sort of setup here?
The setup is quite easy. You just put the furniture, the table, carpet, the light, the lamp. The lamp is really this one. And then you press start. You just press
touch
start.
keying or adjusting any lighting or anything. It's all preset.
Everything is preset.
Yeah, everything is preset. Yeah.
It just runs.
Yeah. Normally, what we want to do with the technical crew arrive in the control room between 45 minutes and 1 hour before we start recording, which is super short because no keying, no preset, everything is done. Yeah. So this is what this is how we work. And this is basically this show that we are able to produce 8 shows a day. So 4 hours of content of teaching.
And if we come back on our business model, it's been a year now that we're starting selling our shows. So the cost of our show versus the retail price that we can sell it is just amazing because we can produce so many episodes that we're able now to make significant profit out of it.
That's fantastic.
It is. That's a common challenge. How do we get more content at a lower cost? It's like,
definitely.
And have a higher quality content.
Exactly.
So,
that too.
And with small time to prepare to do the technical stuff.
Yep. And we're able to do like 5 shows a day here, but in another studio we can shoot also 5 new episodes. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll show you the next door. The same size studio, all equipped. Actually, we had this production company that signed a deal with the Puma footwear.
Oh, wow,
and they were able to do the commercial for the Olympics in Paris last summer.
Yeah.
And they rent this studio, and they had those 9 athletes, and they wanted to have a big space to, you know, redo the sprint and the higher jump and everything. So that's exactly where they shot their thing, and it was a turnkey solution for them. They didn't rent anything, no light, no cameras, no nothing. Just they came with their athlete, and they were able to record a 9 commercial for the Olympics. So that was a great experience for them and for us too. It was one of the first client we had in that type of structure.
Fantastic.
And you're not just like renting space; you're renting a whole service.
Exactly.
It's a whole.
Yes.
Show up with your crew and talent, and that's it. We'll do everything.
Exactly. So. With 3 people in the control room, and we are able to make magic. Yeah.
Definitely. So here, what you're seeing is the next studio. So we can put here. We can go. Basically, it's the same studio. So it's once again a fully green screen, and once again, no curtain, not everything. It's green. What you see is more or less the same thing. You have camera, same robotic, same preset, same tracking system, and also on top of that, we have the light on the ceiling. I mean, of course, we have light on the ceiling, but they are on the same position as we do on Studio B, which means that if we want, we can actually be able to record the same show, this show, over there, because we just have to move the furniture. So this one is a little bit more complex. You see, we have 2 chairs, but apart from that, we just move it, and then the preset is done. So this show was made for our prayer show. We wanted something a little bit more to bring this intimate feeling, a little bit more personal. And maybe you've seen it in the video. It's the one that is actually a Brittany house. So you will see that it will.
The host is French, and is from the north part of France. Yeah. So he wanted to have something.
Make him feel like he's
exactly.
at home.
Yeah, do you see it right?
He misses
now. Yes, perfect. So yeah.
I love the use of the real practical lights in the set too, which really brings it into much more.
It makes you feel like you're on location instead of just in a studio.
Yeah,
that was the idea. Yeah.
We see more and more interview podcasts that are done like this, and people. I would say it's a trend right now. So we can see the lights. So if it's a trend, of course we can do it. And the light in here are real. So we are not afraid to bring light directly in a virtual environment to mix between real and virtual. So yeah, this is how we do it, which helps create this feeling that we have light coming from the window, and then actually to create a merge between what's virtual and to mix it with a bit of real to create the perfect illusion. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this is, we're focusing on design over here a little bit more. So obviously that was more on workflow back there. So how, what's the ideal profile? This is a common question that comes up. Like what's the ideal profile of a designer creating the content, and how has that contributed to the success of the show?
Yeah.
Shows.
What I would say here is we need to have a profile that is not only 3D, because if you think only 3D, you will just think virtual. If you want to create the perfect illusion, actually, it's like we are a magician on stage. You need to mix illusion, virtual, and real. So in this environment, basically, we were looking for a profile, and Joseph is our guy. Probably watching the show right now. Joseph is our guy and helped design all of this. And basically, Joseph did the design, so with 3D objects. Of course, you can create 3D objects by yourself, so with Maya or other software. But to be fair, today you can purchase a 3D object on web market, web stores for few dollars, you know. So, for example, if we think about the teaching show, the plant behind was, if I'm correct, was just purchased on the internet, and we have a plant. And then we need to think about texturing, and this is done also in Unreal. And then on top of Unreal, this is where the zero density technology comes in. Because at this point, we have to interconnect what's done in this game engine and to bring broadcast environment. So basically, what does it mean broadcast? It means SDI and color keying. And regarding the profile, just to come back to that, our guy is also doing the lighting. So basically, we can actually merge 3D and light. I'm not saying that you need one guy that do both. You need two guys that talk together. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you will be able to create something clean. Like
So
this.
you need to consider the physical aspects while you're designing the virtual.
Yeah.
With that being said, did you guys consider the furniture color versus the background to make sure they didn't clash or anything like that?
Yeah.
When you were designing it?
Yeah, in the design process, we have different artistic guys that think about it all together. And when they think about it, basically, we have the virtual environment, and they think of furniture to make it match. So it's a multi-skills job to actually just design it. And this is where you can see this sofa and your chairs actually fit the environment. I mean, if it was a real house, you would say, okay, no, that's okay to have this kind of furniture. It makes sense.
Yeah. Great.
So we touched on keying a little bit earlier as well. Obviously, that's part of the design process. How good you said you selected zero density because of the keying as well. I know the paint you're using here as well is the Chromolite paint, which you've said has produced good results as well. What's the impact of the 3D Pixel Perfect Keyer on hair, shadows? Like are you capturing real shadows? How does this? If you're wearing glasses like this or water bottles, like how have you dealt with that?
No, the keying is really great, and so basically the process is done. When you do the keying, you need also to think about the light and how you will light your people on stage. So basically, it's all mixed together, and with the keying, with the Reality Hub software, you can actually do some tweaks to find what you need, and to adjust. And to be fair, specifically on this show, we do receive a lot of different guests. There is one anchor man, but we do have received different guests. And we don't adjust the keying if there is a different guest. Because the light is done, we don't touch the light, it's made perfectly fine, so we are all set in position, preset is done, and the keying is done. So it's done once at the beginning of the studio, as I mentioned, I think, and also maybe sometimes during summer break, Christmas break, we can do some kind of minor adjustment, but it's nothing more than that.
So roughly every 6 months, you guys tweak it if you need to.
Yeah, if we need.
Really don't have to touch it.
Yeah, if we need to.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to lie, we sometimes do it just once a year.
That's terrible.
Too bad. Sorry for that. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Great. I think, is there anything else we need to talk about here? Otherwise we can...
Yeah, I think we can go to the control room operations. And then we will be answering, I see some questions popping
the
up.
Q&A.
So we'll come back to do Q&A, and we'll try to go through all those questions that I see in the chat.
Yeah, for sure. And something I wanted to mention as well, we are showing right now the production team, because we do not need 3D skills to start the show. This is important because 3D is to design, is to think about what you want to show, but then in the day-to-day show, the control room, the crew in the control room doesn't need 3D skills.
Yeah.
Of course, they are passionate, so they learn it because they love it, but it's not mandatory to make it work.
It makes it easier to find operators. You don't have to have any...
Of course. Yeah.
Easy to use, efficient, flexible.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So now we're going into the control room. We have 2 audio control room on each side, and then we'll step in the video control room. And we have our production team here. So you'll see there's only 3 people managing now the equipment. So we have Felipe, that is take care of all the cameras that you saw. So he controls them from here. We have Roman that switched depending of the angles we want to see. And there's Josh. And I'll let Raphael speak about what he does.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, Josh is doing a multi-role in here, a cameraman, also video switching. But today he will show how we actually operate Reality Hub on a day-to-day basis. So not for specific keying operation, but for day-to-day. And basically, it's quite simple. If you can come. Basically, what you will see here on the zero density, to the Reality Hub interface, we just have to stop one scene. Just one click, and then you see the engine is just off right now. If you look at the second screen, the engine is off. But when we click launch, then it will just launch the scene. So basically, we just wanted to show it to you today, but normally nobody watched this because it's just loading in the background. So here what you see, we just start, and if you look back to the Reality Hub interface, no clicking, we just wait, and we just wait the scene to load, of course, it takes a bit of time to load because it's a pretty nice and beautiful scene to see. And after less than 1 minute, it's ready. And if we go now to the SDI multi-view over there, you will see that we are already live with this specific camera, the B5. And that's it. No keying, no presets. We don't change the light. It's done.
Less than a minute.
Yeah, less than a minute.
Everything's in that one interface there. Looks.
Yeah, one interface. It's a web interface, as you mentioned, probably. So it's super easy to actually be able to access it.
Great.
And to maintain it. We can access to every computers. And this is from the same interface that once a year, our friend and designer Joseph in here will be able to actually to adjust the lighting, the keying, and make it look good.
All the color grading.
Yeah, for 1 year.
Yeah. This is the whole crew. I saw this guy over here on a camera operator before. So
So
camera operator
they do everything.
5 cameras and operating everything. So it's amazing.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So this is a team in EMCI. So maybe we can come back to the.
We'll start some Q&A.
Yeah, some Q&A.
As we're walking over, how many engines and how many cameras do you guys use?
So basically, we are in an environment where we do have actually 12 engines because we have 11 cameras. 12 because we wanted to have one backup because, of course, as there is no anything real, to be fair, we need a backup because otherwise it's green. and I will be completely honest with you, we never use a backup. It's not configured yet, and we never had to be in an emergency to use it.
Excellent.
So this is the way we work. And basically, also, we built it in a way to be flexible because you see 5 cameras in each studio, but what if I want to have a studio with 7 cameras? And you just change the routing because the preset is done. Camera, light, and keying.
Great.
So this is it for the tour. So maybe you do have some questions. I don't know.
I'm just skimming through them now.
Yeah, the one that I just asked about the cameras was from Justin.
Okay.
So I actually remembered that one. Surprising. Justin also asked. He was wondering if you guys will move to the Komodo X when you start going and using the LED.
Sure. I mean, we can definitely go to a video maker camera, the Komodo X, which is like a really nice camera. I mean, it's not a problem because in the way we see technology, if we can achieve this result with a lower end camera, there is no problem to achieve it with a better one. So no problem at all to go with Komodo X. One day,
great,
for sure.
Okay, fantastic. We have another one from Eche. Were you expecting to have these advantages when you first considered the technology in zero density?
I think at first, I'm sorry, I just speak all along doing this.
No, it's good.
I think at first we might be scared because it's you might see a lot of technology and so on, but we were really surprised to see the keying. And here we are in nice condition. We have a nice paint, we have a nice light, we have a nice studio space. But back in the old house, it was still working the same way. So no, we were really surprised at how it works, and also the implementation was quite easy to done and quite easy to do. And I would like also to mention that we worked with a system integrator that is based in Toronto. They are called Rocket, and I wanted to mention they are great guys and they did a great job to help us. But they didn't help us specifically for keying because we could do it on site, but they help us for setup camera, lens distortion, and contact with you guys as well.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, great guys.
Shout out to Donnie.
Yeah, shout out to Donnie, yeah, for sure. Maybe he's listening today.
Yeah.
Hi, Donnie.
Let's see. We may have some questions. There's some stuff in French that I don't.
There's a question in French?
You might
there
have to
may
give it
be.
to one of these guys.
I'll let you, Steve. I'll let you kind of read through those and see if there's a question for you.
Yeah, we have one. Okay. Actually, it's my mom. No, I'm just all right. No, he's just saying that it's great. It's impressive. Yeah, that was just commenting about.
Okay, great. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody's question.
No problem.
To go back on the last question, though, I think that in the beginning, our challenge was really to have as much content to operate a channel on a daily basis. But then I think that we were impressed and surprised to see that just a few of the studios here in North America can do that. So it really opened the doors for business opportunities. And for now, for us, not just to rent, but to even sell our shows, because it's not all producers that can produce daily content as much as we do. So it really opened a new lane of opportunity in terms of business.
Yeah. So, I may have missed this earlier, but how long does it typically take for you guys to create a new environment? I know there's some considerations.
Yeah, no, it's a really important question because it might seem long, but to be honest, the longest thing is actually to have a validation process. Because as you have no limitation whatsoever of what you can do, then you need to be really clear on the validation process. If there is no validation process, between 2 to 3 weeks, we can have a studio ready to run, keying, and proceed to go.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have a couple more questions coming in, which is great. So the first one from Frame Live, have you worked with AR for broadcast yet? Or are you just doing virtual?
Not yet, because our production are not really open to that. But of course we could. There is absolutely no limitation to do that. We do virtual, full virtual, but AR could be possible. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see another
actually,
one.
Just to go back, there's actually a gaming company from United States that are really interested now to make their gaming tournament in our first studio at 1,000-seater, and then to create animation and video content in our studios here. So because of the currency of the Canadian dollar that is pretty bad right now, so it's good for the other countries. And there's also the tax credit that helps into the production. So there's great opportunities to come here and to produce their own stuff. So that actually on the AR and video games, that's another market that we're looking for.
Yeah, video game productions, they love AR. So they go normally into that. So we are ready to go.
And we showcased a few months ago the ray traced AR graphics, which in front of an LED wall looks amazing. You can see there. We talked about that recently as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Let's see, we have a technical question that I think I can answer from Beauty Elijah. Can I use zero density with trackless camera data? So yeah, if you don't have any camera tracking, you can use zero density. Camera tracking will make it much simpler to make sure your perspective is correct, but you can certainly use it without that. You just have to manually set your perspective on your virtual environment to match your camera plate. And AJ asked, what's the plan for the future for y'all?
Can you share it?
Well,
can you share the plan?
to create more content. I mean, that's what we produce 6 original shows, but we really want to increase that. Increase our shows. Also, on the business aspect, there's great opportunities to really welcome big production and to have that turnkey solution. We're not that far from Toronto, not that far from New York, so there's a lot of opportunities in there. And I think, like we just mentioned, the gaming and all the VR market, that's huge also. And I think that we're going to be great in that too.
Great. And I think that also, we discussed that, you mentioned this is open as a showroom as well. If anyone wants to come up to beautiful Granby, a great little town.
And skiing.
There's a skiing resort just down the road there, some great Canadian food and poutine and all that stuff. But you're going to come in here and see this place. Obviously, it's a little bit out of the way, but that's why we wanted to make this a live event, just to kind of bring everyone in. You have an amazing facility, a great workflow, really an ideal setup here. So just wanted to showcase this to the broader world, trying to get everyone to come into to this, especially when it's snowing outside. We got a few inches last night. Might be a bit more challenging, but yeah, really appreciate this. Unless we have any more, we got one more question. No.
Yeah.
How do you handle focus pulling and lens work? Okay.
Do you want to answer?
I think this is for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, as I mentioned, we need to create the illusion that real and virtual match together. And every lens has lens distortion. So basically, we just need to understand what's the lens distortion of your actual optic, and then say to the engine, you have to distort it the same way. So basically, it's a process of lens calibration that you actually did, Andrew, and basically it's done directly with Unreal and zero density. This is how we managed to do. Specifically on the robotic, you can see right now, this lens distortion is actually rendered real time in zero density right now.
And then I think the other part of that question was handle focus pulling. So for the camera operators, and I know here we have robotics.
Yep.
So they're really all just presets, right?
It's presets as well, yeah.
So you don't have any manual?
It's presets as well. And we try to adjust this, the iris to be sure we have a decent focal distance. But it's more than enough. And with presets, we are good to go.
Excellent.
I've got a question too. What would you ever foresee reintroducing post-production processes into your operations here?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, to introduce post-production, it's quite easy because actually we just have to consider it as a real environment. So if you want to adjust, if you want to correct, let's say I say something wrong in this show, we can cut it if we want. So no problem for post-production. But maybe if the question was about what if we want to do post-production of virtual data, of virtual environment, we just need to record the live feed. We just need to record the tracking data. And then we send it to Andrew. No, it can be
send
done.
Send it to me. I'll put it together for you.
Yeah, it can be done in Unreal directly.
So we got 2 more questions so far. What would you suggest to someone who's considering to incorporate this system into their workflow? Suggestions for?
What could be my suggestions?
It's a pretty broad question.
Yeah, it's a broad question. It's an interesting question. I would say you need to consider all aspects of it in the same time. So you cannot just focus on my camera first. No, you need to think camera, then light, then engine, then keying, then your show, then what it will look like. It's not, you need to have a circle aspect of it. You need to talk about this specific point from every aspect of it and merge it. But then it's really not a complex situation to put in place. And then with the right technology, you can do what you want.
Right.
And because of the investment also, I think the suggestion of Brad is really good to come and see us or other clients, but just to be, spend a few days or even a week just to see how it works and ask questions, because it's a good investment, but you don't want to miss, you want to make sure. So I think it's a good thing also to experience on a live set to make sure, that's it, and ask the proper question and to make sure that once you're ready to do the investment, you're in peace.
Yeah, and I think it also gives potential customers a good idea of what they can do with it.
Yep.
But then also seeing the workflow and kind of behind the scenes, it kind of gets their wheels turning of like, oh yeah, I think we can do that too. Instead of just seeing it at trade shows or marketing events where we have 50 people setting everything up, making sure it's perfect and.
I mean, it's not just a low-cost way of doing a real set. You're able to do so much more, tell so many more stories, create so much more productions, much more. It's all about how much content you can produce, and while keeping it on a high quality. We keep saying, but
Let's see, one last one so far. Raj asks, "Hey Raj, are you using 427 or Reality 5?"
For now, 427, if I'm correct. And Joseph, our guy that you've met in the control room, is already trying to implement Unreal 5 in R&D, like POC, trying stuff, trying performances, trying keying. He's working on it, slowly but surely.
Great. Awesome.
Okay. Well, I think that probably wraps it up. What are we in almost an hour? So I think this has been great.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
excellent.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you all as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the great questions. Appreciate it. Makes it easier on us.
Hopefully it was informative. And if you want to watch the next one at 3 p.m., you're welcome to join as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.